Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. Cheese, how you doing, lad?
Yes, it's a good day for me today. Get my cast off today. I can't wait to get rid of it because it's just absolute slime underneath there.
Oh,
Yeah, gonna go get a haircut.
food.
Yeah, getting the food. Yeah, so X-ray first, get the cast off, but feeling good, feeling fit.
Nice. How long till you back?
Hopefully Manly, but that's touch and go.
What is that?
That's next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah, super excited. I hope all this hard work that I've been going through is paying off. Went for a run yesterday with the boys and felt pretty good in comparison to them. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah,
And you said I didn't know you have we were just talking. You have a cat.
yeah. Ugh. I hate this thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, you've got a cat. Why are you a cat person or a dog?" Like, I like a dog as well. I love dogs, but I just don't have the capacity to look after one. Funny story, actually. My cat, when we went to Twin Waters for 2 weeks, I hope this is not animal cruelty, but we went to Twin Waters for 2 weeks, and cats, they can just look after themselves.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 weeks I just filled up this massive bowl of food and a massive bowl of water, like one of those glass bowls, and I just said, "Do your best." the kitty litter was self-changing, so that was no worries. And I got back, all the food wasn't even gone. The water,
really?
yeah, she just come up and everything was normal. House was clean. She hadn't torn up anything. You couldn't do that with a dog. You probably wouldn't do it with a dog, but yeah, cats.
She survived.
Yeah, well, that's how I bred her. I breed survivors.
Resilience.
Yeah, resilience.
Yeah.
Even when I went to Twin Waters for like 6 months, I left her at the house with someone else. And then I gave her to my parents for 6 months. So she's been everywhere, man. And my parents' cat used to flog the living daylights out of her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
So she come back a different cat.
yeah. Scarred.
But calcified, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. I didn't know you had a cat. That's interesting. As some might say, a fun fact. Mate, what a week it's been, or a weekend.
Yeah.
And even today, on the eve of State of Origin 2, Ben Hunt is dominating the headlines. For me, mate, the timing seems strange when you think that, like, most or any player that I can ever remember that's been involved in, like, contract movement or any club news, they just say, like, they run with the line of, "Oh, well, I'm focused on Origin now,
Yeah.
and I'll deal with my future later." But
is this like are you coming up with a conspiracy here or
no, I'm just saying it's a bit weird.
Yeah. It's not ideal timing. I think Billy Slater wouldn't be too happy, or was this a masterstroke by the man himself?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's a bit strange. Can be distracting. I wonder how he's going. You talk to him at all? Being an old dragon old boy.
Yeah, look, he's a mate of mine, but I think it's probably a bit inappropriate to message now and be like, "Oh,
how you
he'd
going?"
probably think I'd be after a scoop." But
yeah, you're starting to get that journalist title now. Jimmy and Buzz, you should get new segment.
That is devastating. Is that what I've become?
But it is.
That is devastating.
It is
that who I
pretty
am?
crazy. The wheels are falling off over that way, man. Like to be able to come out and say you're going to fork out 150k of your own cash. I don't know how that works, but
I'm not buying that. Because I don't know how he would end up taking a pay cut from this. Interesting though, like the NRL official line to his agent Cole Davis about like, "Oh,
yeah.
we'll sanction you if you speak to other clubs." I love that that's the official party line, and they basically
He's been talking to other clubs for months, I would say.
Well, I think he openly met with Gus Gould. Oh, you're allowed to meet, but you're not allowed to incentivize.
I think they're talking about Origin.
Yeah, something like that. But for me, the timing of it is strange, and I guess for me now, like my thought goes to how the Dragons handle this situation.
Yeah.
And
Shane Flanagan got a hold of him straight away, wouldn't he have? surely.
Well, Flano's been. I think he basically said like he spoke to him before it, but I think like now the football club of the Dragons, they've got a couple of things they need to do. One is stop being nice and respectful to Manly, and say, Flano, we need you on now.
Yeah,
like we need you yesterday.
Yeah,
To start planning about who we want to be. We need to set up what we want to stand for, what our team culture is going to be, what our team identity is going to be.
yeah,
And we need to manage this Ben Hunt situation and then all the ramifications from that. So whichever way it goes, so either Ben Hunt stays or so you need to manage that, or if he goes, there's a lot more work to be done. But I think in terms of like listening to, we had Dragon CEO on, and he was like very respectful of like the situation at Manly. It's like, fuck that. We're playing dirty now. Flano, we need you on board now. He's got jobs in commentary, which is all great, and like that helps him, sort the or direct the narrative and control the conversation a little bit. But that he needs to be on board with the Dragons now and planning for season 2024, and then also start to figure out what this club and this team stands for, what their identity is, and the message, and how that message. Like, so the message is important, but then the delivery of it as well. So if Ben Hunt goes, let's just say, do the club come out and go, like, does it look like a club that's like, oh, we're a club that just, let people go, and if you're not really, we'll be that passive, like, oh, okay, well, if you're happy, it's like, or are you, well, if you don't want to be here, fuck off, get out of here. Do you know what I mean? And then you stand strong.
I feel like that's the situation with a lot of players that want to ask for a release. It's just, if you want to release, just go, because are you going to give your all to that team? For me, I think Ben Hunt's one of those guys that every time he laces on the boots, he's going to have a crack, and that's why I love and respect the way he plays, and that's why he's respected around rugby league. But it's that the board should be recognising that he's not happy. So if he's not happy, you're not playing your best football, and I think the club need to make that decision pretty swiftly. But the problem is halfbacks are so scarce in our game. Like, they're so scarce. Who's on offer? Like, Luke Brooks is available.
Well, they've got Sullivan there. That's got a lot of potential moving forward. And then you can put some things around him. But for me, I think the person, and I've said this before, when Flanagan came to the job, he needs control. So it's him that needs to make the call. Yeah. Not the board, not the CEO. He goes, this is my ship. Yeah. I'm in control here. Like, okay.
That's if he can come this year, then he'll be able to make those decisions.
Well, he doesn't necessarily need to come this year and start coaching the team, but planning and setting the foundation for success moving forward. Because otherwise, like Manly are up to their neck or up to their eyeballs in like playoff contention. They're fighting for a spot in the 8. He's got other roles as well. Like, where's the Dragons on Flano's priority? Like, this isn't a side hustle. Yeah, this isn't a side project. This is like, he needs to be. And I know Flano's an experienced guy and he's been there, done it before, but this is a different beast taking over the Dragons, and I think he needs, he needs full autonomy there. He needs full control of the club and how they move forward. But he also needs to like stop planning, because he knows just how tough this job's going to be. And obviously with this Ben Hunt situation, I think that's just threw the cat amongst the pigeons. Yeah. Not only dealing with the Ben Hunt, but all the other players that are around and going like, well, hang on, are we?
Josh Kerr just got released.
Josh Kerr, but he'd already signed for the Dolphins for next year. But there's so many flow-on effects and flow-on conversations that Flanagan needs to sort out with this Ben Hunt situation. But like I say, for me, it's got to be a message of power from the Dragons, whatever the outcome is, it's got to be a message of power. And sometimes you look to manage situations where you go, oh, it'd be nice if we all got like a win-win situation, so where the Dragons win and Ben Hunt wins.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to go, nah, the Dragons win, and I don't care what happens, because Ben Hunt, if he, amazing player, captain of the club, but the club is way above any player that's there, and that will ever be there. So the club needs to come out of this and go, we win.
Yeah,
we win. We're strong. This is what we stand for, and then that can help set the foundation for them moving forward. And again, the key is the message and how it's delivered, because you can see it as like, oh, will we let him go out the door? Or no, well, we didn't want to be here anyway, so get rid of him.
Yeah.
And they can start to plan, because if Ben Hunt goes, they've got a big pile of money there for next year. So Flanagan might look at it and go, well, we've got our halfback.
Yeah. And he plays well.
Sullivan, like, I think he's 23 maybe.
Yeah.
And he's
good
got
defender.
Huge future in the game. So maybe you don't need to look over the fence for the next halfback, or look to England.
Yeah.
You've got him there, but look to strengthen in other positions.
Yeah, I'd go for a key back rower, something like that. Get around Sullivan. Maybe a nice centre. So
you've got
what, 1.2?
You've got plenty of cash, but you've got Jack Baird that's probably not playing at his potential.
Yeah.
So Flano can come in and help spark that. Jaden Sewer is another one.
Yeah, Flano's got
he's
good at getting Jack Baird going. He was.
Yeah.
I thought he should have won the Clive Churchill in 2016.
Yeah. So he's got to bring the best out of those two.
Yeah.
He's got to bring the best out of Zach Lomax. He's got to get Sloan, Sullivan, Amon playing to their potential. I know they've just signed Jacob Little, but for me, with where that club needs attention is probably in the dummy half. Like, they need to go and put that money into a good dummy half.
Yeah.
And if this talk of a potential swap with or a move to the Gold Coast, we'll say, yeah, we don't want compensation. We want this player or this player.
Yeah.
The Dragons are in a position of power, and they need to exercise that power and not play Mr. Nice Guy anymore. They've played Mr. Nice Guy for way too long. Like, you look at successful organisations in rugby league and in sport. So Manchester City, for example, they've just won the treble. Yeah. They're under investigation for financial fair play. And, that won't get resolved for a number of years now. But
the titles,
they've won a treble.
Titles,
how good's that for a football club or a fan base? Same with other organisations within the NRL. Plenty of innuendo about your club, the Roosters, but they win titles. Yeah. Things that happen at Melbourne Storm, they don't care. They win titles. Yeah. Cronulla Sharks is whatever. They win titles. So, but and I'm not accusing them of anything.
Yeah.
But you could make a case that they don't play nice with everyone else.
No way.
They don't play nice with everyone else. No. Look at what's happened with the Roosters.
How many billionaires play nice?
It's time to play dirty for the Dragons and get what this fan base deserve, because there is arguably the biggest name. They've had so much shit go. They've been dragged through the mud for a number of years now. It's time they start playing dirty and get some results and stand for something. And who cares? Because if at the end of the day they get titles, I don't care if they won't look back at this and go, oh, well, we upset Manly a little bit. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, you're not meant to like them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just my 2 cents anyway. What about you? What are your thoughts on where Ben Hunt should go? Should he look to stay? It's hard to imagine this is like a ploy or Ben Hunt's going to stay, just because of the timing of it. You don't make an announcement like this on the eve of Origin.
There's just too much in the background that we obviously wouldn't know, how he feels towards the club, his relationship with Shane Flanagan, all this, these factors are just all hard to come by. But I just think that if he's wanting an out right now, it means he's not happy where he's at. And I'll come from a player's point of view that like when you're not happy, you're not feeling great in general life, and you're not enjoying your football. Like that's why I play the game. That's because we love it. And if you're not loving it, then like you're not in the right place. And yeah, there's whispers going to Gold Coast, and I hope he finds the love for footy again, or the love for the football that he's playing at the moment again. So, and whatever club he goes to, I'll support him, because just at the end of the day, you're the first priority, and that's how I think. But yeah, have you got any more on Ben Hunt? Because I've got a little something about releases.
Go on.
My good friend Matty Lodge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you see that Fox came out? He was granted a release. Well, he trained with. I trained with him the other day. Yesterday we trained together, and he was shattered, man, when he got into the sheds, because one of the boys showed him the article, and he's like, I've got no idea what that is. So.
Oh, because I think it was reported that he had been granted permission to speak to other clubs, not just for next season, but he could leave mid-season now. Yeah,
so he was pretty shattered when he got in the thing, because it said that his manager asked for a release and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel for him, because his head was falling off, and he's got the worst head noise of any human alive. So it's just weird. It's weird for all this to come up. So,
yeah. Speaking of the Roosters, before we get into Origin, it was a gutsy win up there in Newcastle. One guy's head who won't be falling off is Joey Manu. Well, maybe
it will be. It'd be tilted, and his head would be that big. It's making him walk the different angle.
Jeez, he was good at the back.
Yeah, I don't get it, because he's not fit at all. Like I don't want to rubbish him real bad, but he's got a terrible diet, not fit. But then, like, when he plays fullback, for some reason he grows a third leg, and yeah, like 26 carries. 27 carries, 300 meters. I think the most meters of anyone. I was just glad the boys got the win. Like, Joey played well, but I thought Nat Butcher was.
Oh mate. He was like first carry off the kickoff. I thought, because
he's a midget.
Is that his first game at pro?
I don't know, but I just got a lot of respect for Natty Butcher now. 80
he knocked
minutes
out the 80, didn't he?
Yeah, 40 minutes in the middle and 40 minutes on the edge, and even Jake Turpin, like, he's just tackling his little ass off at the moment. But that game was just Newcastle done a really good job to lose it though. I thought Kalen Ponga was. Honestly, winning the game by himself, he was that good.
Yeah.
But it was a gutsy win. I felt like the boys in the second half were going 35 metres, and then the Knights were going 80. And that happened for pretty much the whole second half. So
sometimes it's just about getting the 2 points.
It's just about just kick the ball back and just keep going. But
yeah, it's a frightening combination you're gonna have next year with Tupou and Dominic Young on the wings, and whoever is fullback, obviously Tedesco or Man, like that's a frightening back three.
Yeah.
Frightening. Yeah. But I think it was a timely win for the Chucks.
Yeah.
Just I can't imagine Newcastle and the Roosters making the 8. Oh, maybe, but you needed to take 2 points off them.
Oh, we needed it. The teams like Bunnies and Broncos are sitting pretty at the moment.
Yeah, I think that for me, I think the top 4 is done.
The Broncos are because they've got 6 points in the bank.
Yeah, they've not had a bye yet. No, Broncos.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's like
the bye schedule is bizarre.
Horrible.
Some teams have already had 2, and the Broncos haven't had 1.
I'm pretty sure we play Manly a bye, and then 2 weeks later we play Manly. We did that against the Dragons as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's so silly.
I think there's been an oversight with the 17th team coming in and a lot of excitement, but in terms of like the draw structure, there's been a bit of oversight. Like even Parramatta playing so many good sides at the start of the year, all coming off a bye. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. I think for me the top 4 is Broncos, Storm, Penrith, Souths.
Yeah.
And then I think there's about 8 or 9 teams in the mix for those next 4 positions. That's just
it's just about stringing a few games together for any club, really.
Yeah,
isn't
that's it. There's about 8 or 9 teams there that are in that sort of middle 8.
2 points isn't 2 points in this comp at the moment.
I know. Well, you're taking points off one another, so it was a massive win for the Chucks, and with missing a couple of players as well.
Well, Manly lost on the weekend. They were woeful, but they lost on the weekend and they went down like 5 spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a cutthroat competition at the moment.
Yeah. Speaking of that game, Para to win without Moses, without Brown, without Hodgson, and without Borlo. That was a big
Gutherson,
win.
man.
Oh,
he is a beast.
I think that was exactly why they didn't move him to 6. Just the foot, like no.
Yeah.
There was
talks of getting rid of him. The last 2 weeks, man, he's carried the money.
Oh yeah, didn't they?
They wanted
the X factor.
They wanted to put him in the centres, man.
Yeah, yeah. They need. Oh yeah, mate. Isn't it funny? Parramatta needs some X factor. Well,
they're walking X factor.
Give me Gutherson factor as opposed to X factor. I'm sorry, but
there's enough X factor between Brown, Moses, and Gutherson.
Yeah,
and those 2 weren't there on the weekend, and Gutherson still.
Yeah, he was on fire, mate. Origin, like we've talked all this, and we've not touched on Origin. Where you obviously I'm not going to say a proud Queenslander, but
hey, whoa.
You proudly support. I mean, I'm not going to call you a proud Queenslander, but you proudly support the Maroons.
I've donned the Maroons jersey many times.
All right.
Under 16s, under 15s, under 18s. Yeah.
Oh, like residents?
Nah, schoolboys.
Yeah, but
schoolboys and club footy. Cyril Connell, Mal Meninga Cup.
All right. Okay. We'll give you that. Can you see them?
But they're still the underdogs.
Yeah.
I've got New South Wales to win for sure.
Some interesting battles out there. Obviously, it goes without saying that the battle is won in the middle of the field, or that's usually. But I think there's a couple of head-to-heads that I think will have a big say in who wins the game. It's Munster v Luai.
Yeah.
Luai needs a big game.
Yeah.
Like, needs a big game. He needs to not necessarily outpoint Cameron Munster, but get close to him in terms of his positive involvements. Teddy v Walsh, again, I think the fullback with the most impact on the game is going to have a big say in the result. The 2 hookers for both teams. Interesting that New South Wales they abandoned the 2 hooker model and then they've gone back to it.
I like them.
You like that 2 hooker model?
I like that one. Yeah, very similar.
I know we've probably spoke about this before, but what's the difference in preparation if you're a 9 and you've got that extra, you've got the backup hooker on the bench? Is it just as simple as you can go balls out? Or
well, I did that role in 2021 for a long time with Harry, and I think my role was sort of take the brunt of the defense because I was a bit bigger. I'm a bit bigger as a hooker, so I just took the brunt of the defense and then bring Harry on and hopefully tired them out a bit. So just play simple structure, scrum line, inside scrum line to scrum line. Don't try to shift the ball too much. Just try wear out the middle, and then get Harry in there to try do his magic. And then I go to lock, so
yeah,
that's a bit different. But that's what, like, you notice Mitch Kenny at the Panthers, he does a really good job at that. They do that pretty much that exact model because he's a great defender. He just takes the brunt of it, and then that Sonny Luke comes in back into the game, and he's a bit sharper with his feet. Like it works well. I think they've got it the other way around though. Cook's the sharp one, and I think Reece Robson's the dog.
Well, they've named Cook to start at 9, but I think it was Greg Alexander ahead over the weekend being like, oh, we're still yet to decide. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Because if they do that, I think it's a really good idea.
It makes more sense, right, to have Robson start.
Because with picking Moses, I feel like they're going in that grind game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think they're going for that grind game where Moses just kicks it back to them, and then finally when they're a bit tired, then I reckon that's when they go.
Yeah.
Because Moses has got the best kick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to see Robson start and Cook go back to the bench, and then, like you say, have that model of...
Who's the New South Wales forwards?
Payne Haas, Junior Borlo, Tyson Frizzell, Isaiah Yeo, Hudson Young.
Is he in?
He's in, isn't he, Charlie? Yeah. And then the bench is Cameron Murray, Robson or Cook, Utoi Kamanu, and then Liam Martin.
That's decent.
Mate, for all the focus on the players who aren't there for New South Wales, that's still a stacked team.
Yeah.
I would have loved Latrell to be in there.
Oh, me too. Me too. So unlucky.
The stage was set for him, wasn't it? But wasn't to be. But I think fundamentally, if New South Wales are going to win, they're going to win the moments. If they're going to win the game, realise when a small moment is a big moment. So, for example, Cobbo should never be allowed to score. Tedesco passed to Adokar.
Yeah.
Those are the, I think the Frizzell...
I feel as if Queensland build their game around that. Build their game around winning the little moments. That one... What was that one? With
Pangai Jr. offload.
Ruben Cotter.
Ruben Cotter just dove on the ball.
That was massive.
It's either it's an offload, and you could see how this week that something like that could happen.
Yeah.
And a New South Wales player gets the ball, or Cook, and then goes on a 20-meter run. Yeah. And then they're on the back foot, but Cotter just wanted it more than anyone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's got that dog in him.
Yeah. So that's what if it's it was interesting. I was speaking with Gus Gould on Friday about it, and he's just look, that this.
You and the journos, man.
Gus Gould's not a journalist. He's not a journalist, so to speak.
You got people in higher places. You.
No, but he was just talking about the severity of the occasion, and that's the thing. Going up there and just swallow you up. So,
what's the statistics on New South Wales beating Queensland in game 2 at Suncorp?
Look, I don't know if you want percentages, but let's just tell you it's not good.
Charlie, do you know?
Freddie's never lost a game 2.
Well, Freddie's never lost a game 2, but I don't know if I think maybe New South Wales have won. Their record up there is shocking. I don't really think it matters. Statistically, we just know it's really bad. But yeah, I genuinely, the level of excitement is really high, and also as well, we've got a live show up there as well. I'm more pumped about that than the game.
What are you doing?
The buy round are going up there.
Oh, really?
With Ladbrokes, yeah. We've got the Dudley. The Lord Alfred in on Caxton Street. We've got a very select group of our loyal fans and listeners that won a competition. So myself and a couple of very special guests. Have the guests been announced yet? Do they know? We've got Ryan Girdler and the King, Wally Lewis, joining us in for a bit of a Q&A and a live show. So, that episode, we will put that out tomorrow, Charlie, or... Yeah, we'll put that out tomorrow. So something for our fans to listen into. But we got the King and Gerd, so that'll be. I'm really looking forward to that. And then the game is set to be spectacular.
Will there be a few Tooheys or two?
There shall be. There will be. Ladbrokes
during the live show.
For me personally, probably not. I've got to be professional, but no. This is big shout out to Ladbrokes for organising it. Yeah. It's going to be pretty special, and they're putting on full full food package, drinks package.
Oh,
It's going to be.
if you want to
pretty
rob
good.
Ladbroke, so I can go the unders in the Origin.
You reckon go the unders on the score?
Yeah, I reckon.
Interesting. All right. Anyway, speaking of our, is there anything else you want to add to Origin?
No, not Origin. What are we speaking about now? I actually got caught picking my booger and eating it this morning by my missus.
Well,
I woke up this
what
morning.
did it taste like?
Salt. I love it.
Oh. Well,
I'm a sucker for doing it. Eh?
oh, really? That is.
I woke up this morning and picked my nose. I gave it a little taste, and then my missus. Well, I didn't know my missus was awake.
Don't, mate. That is.
I didn't know my missus was awake, and she was like, "Did you just eat that?" And I was like, "No."
It's. Oh God.
Oh, Jimmy, you act like you've never eaten something bad.
No, it just it's not. Oh, it's reminded me of a story. But anyway.
Jeez, it's really hurting you.
Oh man. Well, when I was at St Helens, right, one of the boys had a bad cold, and like got up this. We're on the team coach. Got this like massive like snot, like put it on his hand, and was like showing everyone. Like, oh, and it was like everyone's like, oh,
That is good.
and then one of the lads just went, "Here, let's have a look at that," and he just went. Oh, mate, and it's still.
Oh, see, that's where I, because I like myself.
Oh,
like this cast absolutely stinks. Like I don't know if you're a fan of the scratch and sniff, but this, you know what I mean. By
yeah, I do.
yeah. I don't know if you're a fan of it or whatnot.
Like
but
the old scratch and sniff TV, like.
No, you scratch your balls.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Scratch it. Yes,
and you love it.
You've got to.
Well, who's that soccer manager that always scratches?
Oh, it happened like what? Yeah. Joachim Low.
Yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, this thing is like a walking scratch and stuff. I don't even need a scratch.
Yeah.
And
how weird. But if that's someone else's, it's
exactly.
disgusting.
I was talking to Boy Cordner about it. He was like, "Does your car stink?" And he's like, "Do you love it?" I was like, "I love it." And he was like, "If I had a car, so I'd do the exact same thing every day. I just go, oh, and it reeks, but it's just
like it's slightly pleasurable.
I don't know what it is.
One of life's great mysteries. All right.
That
Anyway,
took a
I think that's
very
a
big turn.
That did take a big turn, didn't it? Jesus Christ! What
Jesus.
this show, it touches just about everything. Anyway, this is what we're not even done with one of my favourite segments of the show, and it's time for this.
Fan feelings.
Nothing more than
How do you feel?
All right, big shout out to Tooheys for this segment of the show where we get the questions in from the fans. Big shout out to Tooheys for this segment in the show. Obviously, we want to know, well, the fans want to know how we feel about certain issues in the game or life in general. Let's have a listen. First question.
Gents, just a question about the old chip and chase and why it's not a staple in the game anymore. With defensive lines rushing up, would this be useful?
Jimmy, I'll let you start since you were quite the chip and chase maestro yourself.
Yes, it sure was. I think it probably just comes down to high risk, high reward. Teams like to play the percentages.
Coaches like to play the percentages.
So even things like the short dropout now, that isn't just we'll have a crack. There's theory to it, but some teams are just, they've got the contagion effect and they think they can, if you can't do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
But things like that are based upon highly tuned probabilities and consequences for not getting the outcome. It's not actually that bad, but if you chip and chase and it doesn't come off, you're up shit creek. And I know people, well, even like in the Ashes now, people are seeing Bazball, where like, I don't know if you saw Joey Root go for that shot, ball one of yesterday's session of day 3 or day 4, whatever it was. But it's like, you can't be doing that in rugby league.
What does baseball mean?
It's a style of play where basically England's approach is a bit like a one-dayer, even though they're playing a test match.
Is it named after Brendan McCullum?
Their coach. That's what they call.
Because Brendan McCullum loved that.
Did he?
Like, yeah, when he played, he'd always try to go hard early.
But yeah, I don't think it works.
Yeah, I agree. It just depends. Like with the rushing defense now, on when you're attacking the try line, a lot of people put dinks in behind anyways. Like Reece Walsh is an expert at it. But yeah, as far as the chip and chase, if you give the ball back around the 50-metre line, the game is a field position game at the moment that Penrith do so well. And yeah, if you're a halfback and you do a chip and chase and it doesn't work, I don't think you'll be able to talk to Jared for a week.
And also a lot. It looks like it's disguised, but as a defender, like if you're like a couple of places away, you see it and you just react.
Oh, and fullbacks these days are like 10 metres behind the line. They're not the all the way at the try line anymore.
See, I reckon a better play than the chip and chase, what I'd like to see come in, is more players attempt at 20-40. Like I don't.
Do you know who kicked the first one ever?
No. Go on.
Yours truly.
Did you?
I was the world's first.
Did you mean it?
No. I wanted to kick it like towards there, but I didn't think I was just trying to get it deep. I wasn't trying to get it out. And it was against. We lost the game. It was a prelim, and it was against the Panthers. And Dylan Edwards must have forgot the rule because it started rolling out, and he shadowed it out, and then we got the ball back. And then I remember watching the game back, and Gus Gould said it was the first ever.
Well done. Congratulations. Well, I'd like to see more of that.
There was a time when I was the best 20-40 kicker in the comp.
The one and only. Or when teams get a 7-tackle restart, kick it. Because especially if a team goes for an attacking kick, say on their left, get the ball back to the 20 and just kick it against the side that just
Surely
chased.
if you're like $1 million halfback, you can kick the ball out when you need to kick it out.
Yeah, because am I right in thinking you don't even need to tap it?
If you tap it, you can't kick it.
Yeah, so you just take the ball and instead of tapping it, just kick it.
There was a game, someone tapped it, kicked it, they didn't get the ball back.
Yeah. Those are the type of rules or that's the type of situation I think teams could take advantage of. It's relatively low risk.
Yeah.
And it advances you way further up the field.
And you could, if you've got a big kicker, like Moses could put that in the 10x10. And if you've got a fast winger, like it's a good play.
Great play.
I agree.
Anyway, next question.
Next question.
Sue Cheezel, Mr. Graham, kia ora, hello. I'm Stephen. I've just moved over to Sydney, Australia. Kiwi boy. Just want to know from you, Cheezel, what's something good, exciting or fun that I can do since I've just moved over here? Any suggestions are welcome. Same from you, Jimmy. Let me know. Cheers.
The Beach Road Hotel's pretty fun. Just on Bondi there. That's a good place to go for a night out. And it's a good pub to play pool. And
Are you a bit of a pool shark?
Well, I was back in the day. I grew up in a pub. My dad was the barman, my mum was the canteen lady.
So lots of pool.
Yeah, sold the raffle tickets from like 6 till 13. Slept under the pool table. Used to play every day. And then,
Night. Someone puts the dollar coin in. It's like, what an awful noise that would be to wake up to. You know when someone, that noise, the ball's just trickling down. That
was just the norm for me, Jimmy.
Yeah. Things to do in Sydney, I don't know. Do we look like the Sydney tourist board?
I've been here. I haven't done much. You can come down to the Oval and train with us if you want. That's real exciting.
There's loads of stuff to do in Sydney. Harbour Bridge climb. Depends what you're into.
Actually, I just went on a super yacht yesterday.
Did you?
Day before yesterday.
Doing what?
No, just Cooper Johns invited me. There's some NBA player was on there. Cam Johnson, do you know?
No. What's the difference between a yacht and a super yacht, and when does a yacht become a super yacht?
I don't think a super yacht has sails.
Does a normal yacht have sails?
Yeah. But that's why I just never been on a super yacht with sails. But I think the sheer size. So like if you go, what's a heavyweight and what's a super heavyweight? I think it's just the difference is they're bigger.
Okay.
You know what's strange though? When it's super lightweight, is it heavier than lightweight or is it lighter than lightweight?
I think it's heavier.
Yeah, see, because if you're super light, you're lighter than light.
I'm
So that's a bit of-
confused. I don't know if I'm just assuming you need quite a substantial sum of money to get yourself on a super yacht.
I think the one we went on was 13 mil.
Oh, just that casual 13 mil. Well, all sorts of things to recommend to do in Sydney.
The Glass Island, that's a big island bar that floats. Never been on it.
No, me either. What else can you do? Go for a walk.
Everything I've
Loads of footy on, like whatever,
yeah.
There's lots happening.
I think whatever you like, you can find.
Correct. Sydney's a big city. Depends about where he is as well. Like,
Next question.
I think that wraps us up, doesn't
That
it, Charlie?
wraps us up.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a job at the tourist board anytime soon. But hey, come to Sydney.
I'm going to
You
Fiji.
Go do stuff. Yeah, we've not really sold that well and not been very helpful I think with answers like that.
If you go any pub, find a Tooheys or two and you'll have a good time.
Yes, let's leave it at that. All right, thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. We'll catch you next week and enjoy Origin 2.
Go the Maroons.